Join us and look through a stained glass window and look into the world of beautiful cakery with this mirror glass cake. All you need is some ready gel and some food colouring. Mix up several different colours, put them aside. Meanwhile, get your plain vanilla cake. Start to layer it with buttercream icing. Just pipe it on and then coat the entire outside in it too. Smooth it over with a flat knife or a spatula. Ready to decorate! Now we're going to get some white fondant icing and roll it out nice and thin because we want to cover the entire cake. It's going to stick down nicely onto the buttercream icing. Once you've done that, you can just cut off the excess. Now for the fun part. We've got some melted dark chocolate in a food piping bag. We're using a very, very thin nozzle to decorate on top of our fondant icing with a very intricate pattern. We're doing some sort of flower petals and then we are joining them up in an almost spiderweb pattern using squares and triangles to fill in all the gaps. Once that's set, you can start to paint on the ready gel in between. This is going to look absolutely gorgeous when it's finished. Just use a little paintbrush to get in between all that delicious dark chocolate. Colours of your choice, of course. We're using a yellow, blue, purple and green. Now, if you can't find any ready edible gel, then you can always try other things. You can use different coloured fondant icing, although it may be a bit trickier to cut out all these intricate shapes. You could do a kind of patchwork quilt. You could even use buttercream icing and pipe it on through a thin nozzle. Whichever way you choose to make this gorgeous mirror glass cake, it's sure to look absolutely amazing. Just like a stained glass window, don't you think? Let's get summery with this gorgeous drawing flower cake. Look at that. Lovely. Ready to learn how to make it? Here goes. Melt some white chocolate. Add some food colouring. That was easy, wasn't it? We're going to pipe on the melted pink chocolate, or whichever colours you choose, and trace over some flower shapes. As you can see, we're using a variety of different flower shapes, but you don't have to. You could use all the same if you wanted. Add some pearl sprinkles in the middle, or sprinkles of your choice, and do the same with the other colours. So we've melted more white chocolate and used blue food colouring too. Chill those till they have set. Meanwhile, get your vanilla cake and layer it with buttercream icing. We're using a nice pale green colour. This colour is a really lovely base for your flowers. It's sort of a pastel-y effect. There we go. It's going to make those chocolate flowers stand out once we stick them on. Be very careful with this part because they're very delicate and we don't want them to break. Get the kids involved. They'll learn how to draw flowers at the same time as making a delicious dessert. Red, orange, blue, pink, yellow. Go wild with your choice of colours. In fact, if you have a favourite flower, you could even just use that to trace. And there you have it. Dig in. Tulip, Tulip, Tulip Cake by Nyam Nyam. Look at this cool, summery, buzzy bee flower cake. Very nice. Let's make. Start by melting some white chocolate. Add your food colouring. We're making orange colour. We're going to get a plastic spoon and using a paintbrush, we're going to paint it on, but not all the way, just 3/4 of the way. Chill it, and once it's set, drizzle on some plain melted white chocolate to fill the rest. Again, leave it to set. And then it just slides right off. And there you have a tulip head. Next we're going to get some white chocolate which has been dyed light green colour and paint on the leaves. Chill that and then layer it with a darker green. Chill once more. Once it's set, you can peel it off your baking paper. And there you have a lovely two-tone leaf. Now get some fondant icing, yellow and black, and using water, we stick on our stripes. Do you know what it is? Yep, it's a bee. So cute. Some white fondant icing as well for the wings. Now the decorations have been prepped, you can get your plain vanilla cake and start layering it with buttercream icing. We're doing 2 layers and covering it in buttercream icing as well, using a very pale green colour. We've got some green tea sticks to use as our tulip stems. Then just layer on our spoon petals. There you have a lovely chocolate tulip. You can always use fondant icing for the stems as well, or even melted white chocolate, which has been coloured green. Time to stick on your leaves and lay them out just as you like on the top of your cake. You may even be able to stick a few on the sides. Let's put your bumblebees on, several of those. And there you have it, a gorgeous tulip cake. That'll create a buzz at your next party. Yum. Check out this delicious fruit fresh cream cake. Ooh, yum. It's actually pretty easy to make. You just slice up some fresh fruit of your liking. We are choosing strawberries, cutting the end off and then cutting them lengthways like this. And a kiwi which has been peeled. Nice thin slices. There we go. And a mango. Slicing it all along. And then just using a spoon to ease out the segments. Perfect. Time to just lay our fruit out on a tray. Now we're going to get a vanilla cake which we made earlier, or you can buy it pre-made from the store if you don't have time to make it yourself. And we're layering it with syrup, buttercream icing, fruit, more buttercream icing, and then more cake. And we're going to use a different fruit in each layer. So we start with strawberries. Now it's mango. Then last but not least, kiwi. Let's cover the entire outside in whipped cream. If you don't want to use whipped cream, you could use maybe a vegan alternative such as coconut cream. You could also use cream cheese, that's very nice cream cheese frosting. Even buttercream icing, anything that you can stick your slices of fruit on. Decorate it as you wish, as much or as little as you like. And then we're going to kind of bury those in with more cream. We don't want to cover the fruit, but we want it to reach the edge of the fruit. Some more whipped cream on top. And final pieces of fruit for presentation. Bigger chunks this time. A few fondant flower decorations. It's all in the finishing touches, you know. Look at that. Isn't she beautiful? Super creamy, super fresh. Even got fruit in it. So kind of healthy. Go on, I know you want to. Here is a wondrous white delight. Yep, it's an awesome snowman cake. Want to know how to bake? Well, you start with 100 grams of egg white. Whisk it up in a mixing bowl till it's lovely white and frothy. Add 200 grams of sugar to that, a little bit at a time. This is how you make your meringue mixture. Once that has formed stiff peaks, you can start to spoon it into various bowls and add food colourings. We're starting with orange. Now we're going to pipe some plain old white meringue mixture onto a baking tray with some baking paper on it. 4 circles. These are going to be our snowmen heads. Orange for the nose. And black coloured meringue for the mouth and the eyes. Looks kind of like raisins, doesn't it? So we're making a few of those and then we're going to bake them for 2 hours at just 90 degrees centigrade. Meanwhile, get your basic vanilla cake and layer it with buttercream icing. Coat the entire outside in it too. We're keeping with the white theme here because it's kind of snowy. Ding-a-ding-ding-a-ding-ding-ding-ding-a-ding-ding. Now we're going to do a snowman face on our cake too. So orange buttercream icing for the carrot nose, black buttercream icing for the raisin eyes and mouth. Delicate little dots. There we go. Now some white buttercream icing is going to be piped on either side. Small and large blobs which kind of look like snow has fallen. And some green buttercream icing is going around the edge of the top of our cake now. We're using a serrated edge nozzle because we're creating a kind of hair effect. At the same time, it's leaves off a tree or a bush. We're adding some red buttercream icing in between for the berries. Looks very Christmassy indeed. Kind of like holly. The holly and the ivy. Some white buttercream icing here and there with some brown in between, so it kind of looks like snow has fallen and landed on top of the branches. It's the little things that make a difference, you know. Be as creative as you like with this. Now we're going to make some brown buttercream flowers on a little piece of baking paper on a spinning tray. Beautiful, isn't it? Carefully place those around your holly bush. And then add on your meringue snowmen faces. And there you have it. A beautiful Christmassy looking snowman cake. Awesome. Can't decide which colour to use to decorate your cake with? Well, why not use all of them with this fantastic colour gradation cake? Start by rolling out some white fondant icing and then using a stencil to press in a lovely pattern. Just roll it over with a rolling pin. Beautiful! Using a cookie cutter, you can cut out a butterfly shape. And we're painting on some edible gold powder. Excellent! Just chill that so it sets, and meanwhile get lots of bowls of buttercream icing and lots and lots and lots of food colouring, because we're going to make some colourful buttercream icing, just like a rainbow. Right, now we get our plain cake. We're using vanilla, but you can use whichever cake you like. Fill it with buttercream icing and layer it and then coat it in buttercream icing too. Smooth it out. Ready to decorate. Using a toothpick, you're going to create a spiral pattern on the top. Now time to decorate. So we've put our different coloured buttercream icing in food piping bags. We're using a very thin nozzle to put tiny dollops on. Varying the colour, so we do a kind of fading effect, morphing from one kind of shade into the next. So we've gone from light to dark purple, then light to dark blue, then morphing into more turquoisey and green colours. This wonderful gradation of colours going on here. Yellow next. You can, of course, use whichever colours you prefer and in any order you prefer, or even do the same kind of idea but do a picture, or perhaps make your favourite animal on it, or just your favourite thing, or even a rainbow. We're doing a spiral because we think that works quite well when you're doing colour gradation like this. So we've gone dark orange now into pink. And just keep going around your spiral shape into red. So a little bit of patience may be needed for this kind of cake decorating, but it's loads of fun. And I tell you what, if you've got kids, get them involved too, because they will love doing this. You want to make it even more interesting, you could use a different type of nozzle on your food piping bag, like serrated edge or a different shape. We're keeping it nice and simple. So we've gone back to our purples and we're sort of going around full circle really. When you're done with that, we've gone down the side as well as on the top. We just stuck on our butterflies. Our lovely gold covered fondant butterflies. And there you have it. Pretty simple, really. And I'd say very effective too. Dig in. We love this colourful recipe. Absolutely fondalicious. All you need is some butter, of course. Vanilla cake which we've cut into segments and filled with buttercream icing in between each layer. And all around the edge. This is just a double layered cake, this one. We've got some blue fondant icing which we're going to roll out on a chopping board, sprinkling some flour as we go so that it doesn't stick. Roll it out nice and big and thin. Now carefully lifting it and placing it over our vanilla sponge cake. I'm going to cut it to the size of the plate to make it easier to fit around the cake. And when we've done that, we can get a cutter to cut off the excess. Beautiful. Now, time to decorate. Some pink fondant icing gets rolled out into a flat sausage shape, and we're going to just slice it into a rectangle and then make a wave effect. Using a bit of water and a brush, we're going to stick that around the edge of our cake. And we've made our pink fondant icing with sugar sprinkles on top. Using some white fondant icing, we can add a further decoration, rolling it into a long thin sausage. Get an ice cream cone and wrap it all the way around. Adding some food colouring, make it nice and golden. And that is our unicorn horn, of course. Adding eyes and ears and a mouth. And there you have it, a beautiful flower petal cake. Perfect for any kid's birthday party. You could not get more colourful.